Hello viewers, I welcome you all from HLT of Tech channel, and today we will talk about the document library app in SharePoint 2019 that is available as a out of box app in in SharePoint 2019. In every version of SharePoint, as you know that document management has been a very important part, or in fact we can say that SharePoint has strength in document management. Many organizations are using this technology for storage of their documents. So we will talk about this document library app in current video. Uh, this is my website. As you all know that we configured it together in our previous videos, and this is the main site, and you are seeing that these are the site collections in my main site. We created 4 different sites, that is login, supply chain, HR department, finance department, and QA department. Now what we want to do, if we go into any site collection, let's say we are going into logistic and supply chain. This template is a template of team site that is available in SharePoint 2019 on-prem, out of the box, but you can configure it as per your requirement. It's very easy in modern sites. This is a layout of modern site. I'm not going into details of this as we have already covered this part in our previous videos. uh, if I go into site contents, you will see that there are one document library that is available as an out of box solution. What I'm going to do, I'm going to remove it, as we are going to add a new document library app from scratch. So similarly, I am going to remove the navigation link as well. Now what I'm going to do, in logistic and supply chain department, I am the administrator. I can click on here to add a new app. If I will click app, it will redirect me to the app page of my SharePoint 2019 environment, and here you can see that document library app is here. So I will just click document library. Okay, I'm going to name it. I'm going to name it log and supply. Okay, one more thing that is very important. I'm going to name it, and I'm going to select a very small name, that is log, or in fact I'm going to select only logistics, and I am not going to add any other part. And if you want to add multiple strings, I recommend you to not give space in it while creating the document library here. The reason, I'm just telling you in next 1 minute. Notice that whenever I will click on create, it will create a new document library. Okay, and that's name is logistics. And if I click on logistics, look at the URL. Okay, whatever name you will select while creating the document library will be the name that will be included in the URL. Alternatively, if I go and create a document library, sorry, new app, notice what I'm going to do. I'm going to click on document library, and the reason why I'm not going to give space is logistics space supply. Let's say 2 words with space. I'm going to click, and I'm going to click department. Okay, when I will create it, one more document library will be created, and when I will click it, you will notice that the URL that is formed contains percentage 20. That is the indication of space that you gave in the while creating this document library, and same space here. And you are seeing that the URL you were specifying, or the SharePoint was specifying to your document library, it became a big one. So it's not better practice to do space like naming convention when at the time you are creating the document library. Alternatively, what I have done here, I have just written logistics. So this URL is smart and short enough. So I hope so that this thing is clear. So what I'm going to do, as I was giving you an example of this part, I'm going to remove it because that was just for a reference purpose. Okay, now what we have done, we have created a new document library, logistics. Now the question is that I want to rename it, because when I was creating it, I name it very shortly. I gave a very short name so that my URL become small enough or and smart enough. So now I want to change its name. So I will go into library settings, and here on the first part of general settings you will click, and here you can specify or you can change the name, logistics and supply. Here you can give a big name because your URL has already been created, and big name is not going to affect your URL now. So you are noticing that the name has changed, but the URL will remain same as you gave while creating the document library. Okay, now as you know that it's very easy to create or document library from out of the box solution that is available apps in SharePoint 2019. Now we are going to go into further details of the document library, because just creating a document library is not a big task. We must go into the details of what this document library contains, what are the uh, fields, or you can say what are the attributes that are created by default, and how many attributes you or fields you can create as a custom attributes or fields. Okay, so first of all, without wasting time, I'm going to copy this and I'm going to add it in the navigation link so that my users can easily access it. I'm going to name it uh, document library as a display name. You can change your name as per your requirement. Okay, so this will again navigate me to the same document library. Wonderful. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going into library settings, and here I'm going to see which fields are created by default, or you can say which fields are created by when you were creating a document library. Remember one thing, that when you create a document library, if we look into the database, a table is created. Simply a table is created in a site collection, that is logistics and supply chain department. This was the site collection, and in this site collection you have created an app of document library, that is this one, or in other words, or in the you can say terminologies of database, you can say that a table is created, And now we will see what are the attributes or what are the fields that are created in any document library when by default when it is created first time. So I'm going into all documents view. Here you are seeing that these are all the fields or columns or fields or attributes. These are different name of same thing. These are created by default whenever you create a document library. So if I check them all so that they all are visible to me, then I can better explain you what they are for. I'm going to click OK. Okay, fine. Now multiple fields are shown here because I'm going to tell you that how many fields are created and what are their purpose. If you are a developer and you are creating any front end application to interact with SharePoint as a backend platform of document management, then this part of video is very important or will be very meaningful for you, because whenever you create a document library, some attributes are created by default. And now what I'm going to do, as a sample, I'm going to add one uh, document here. Okay, so one document is created here and we will see which values are created by default in the database tables. This is the name. This is modified by, as I'm login by this user, so it's telling me that it's modified by this user. App created by, there is no need to save any data, so SharePoint is ignoring these fields. App modified by, check-in command, checkout command. Okay, if I click here and I go into checkout, checkout is a anything that is used for, you can say, for working on the document and keeping it at the uh, point so that other users may not interact with that document. Okay, now I'm going to go again and I'm going into check-in and I'm going to give any remarks. Test verified. Okay, I'm going to check in. Okay, now you notice that whenever, as soon as I edit that document, what it did, it entered the field of that I just a few seconds ago I entered in the check-in commands. So this value is updated in the check-in command field of the database table of this document library. Okay, now check out to. Okay, if you will enable check in check out into your document libraries, this will be auto calculated by SharePoint. Comment count. Okay, if you enable the comments on that document library or document, then the counts will be enabled here. Similarly, compliance asset ID, content type, it's a document. Okay, fine. And copy source, what is the copy source? If you are copying it from some other location, it will tell you the source. Created by file size. Okay, and folder child count. If you are creating any folder and you are uh, storing your files in that particular folder, then it will give you the count of the actual subfolders or files in that main folder. ID, it's giving a ID. This is a auto generated field and that is propagated by default. And this ID is a unique ID, or you can say that it's a primary key. Okay, now when I will create a new document or I will create a new folder, let's say I create a test folder, you will notice that the ID has become 2. And if I delete that test folder, and I create one more folder with the name test1. So it will give you an ID 3 because it always assign a unique ID to the newly adding component, regardless whatever components you have deleted in past. Once the ID is assigned, it will remain the part of that uh, document, or you can say record. Okay, so these fields are used by developers while assigning, while creating joins among the table, while calling any document from any reference or from any primary key or unique reference. Okay, so this id is very important for the developers, and thanks to SharePoint, it's giving you the facility of auto generating that field. Okay, now item child count I told you earlier, and this was the name, title, and version. Versioning is a very useful part of document libraries in SharePoint, and it helps you to abstain from or to avoid repetition of files, or to store multiple duplicate files. So you have to enable the versioning. I will cover this part in my later video, because versioning is a very important topic itself. It's a big topic, so I'm not going into details right now. So this is the view that you are seeing in the document library. If I go and I go into edit current view, here I will only display those items that are required in my view. Okay, I want that only some information that is required for me may be available to me. Let's say I check these four and check this one, then only these five fields or these five columns will be available in my view that is available in document library. Similarly, you can change the numbering. I want that this column may come in the first number, so I will change the column name to column position to 1 from left, and I will click OK. So you are seeing that my view of the document library has changed. The id column has come in first position from the left, and other columns are coming here. Okay, one more thing. Let's say I want to add one custom field here. You are not satisfied with all of these fields that are available here, that are created by default. You want that some other fields may be appearing here and that are required for your customization. So what are you going to do? It's very simple. You are going into library settings, and you are going to click on create column. I'm going to click on, let's say I'm going to add a column of drop down list document type. Okay, and I'm going to select the option of choice, and here I'm going to enter the choices. That is, I'm going to say whether it's a letter, whether it's a book, whether this document is a novel, whether this document is a magazine, or some other options. Similarly, you can select which type of drop down, whether this field may be appear in drop down menu, or the radio buttons, or the check boxes. You as a developer better know that check boxes are used for multiple selections. By default, it will give you a letter choice, and I'm going to click on OK. So if I go into again document library, you are seeing that the document type is appearing here. Okay, if I go and edit that document, let's say I'm going to edit this document. Sorry, editing part is here. I'm going to edit its properties, and you are seeing that the choice column that we created just now is now visible here. And I'm going to select, let's say, book, and I'm going to save it. So this field has successfully been entered in the required place. Similarly, in this way you can add multiple type of columns here. Let me show you shortly that uh, how many types of columns you can add in a document library app. So I'm going into create column. Here you can see that these are the types of columns which you can add as a custom field or custom attribute. Just it's very simple. You will create it, you will assign the name to that column, you will select the type, and you will specify this condition. This is important, that whether this data is mandatory or not. If you've left it left it as an essential component, that is yes, then user cannot update the record completely without filling that field. Similarly, you can enforce unique values. For example, you want that one value that has come may not be repeated in other rows or records. Then you can do so by selecting yes or no. So the type of columns that are allowed in SharePoint document libraries that you can add as a custom columns or custom fields are single line of text, multiple line of text, choice, number, currency, date and time, lookup column, and yes no. Similarly, it's a boolean value 0 or 1. Person or group, you can add a person. For example, you want to specify that this article is written by any person that is a member of your organization, then you can select this one. So by selecting this field, you can simply look up from the Active Directory or your Microsoft Azure if you are working on premise. Similarly, you can add a hyperlink or picture. You can create a calculated column based on other columns. For example, I want to add two numbers here. I want to specify, I want to let's say I want to calculate the birthday. Then I will calculate the number of days from his date of birth till date. So these are depend upon your formulas. Task outcome, external data. This external data is whenever you configure any you say business data connectivity service, then you can link your SharePoint with external databases. From there you can propagate the value here, and you can also click on manage metadata. So the most common use fields are single line of text, multiple line of text, choice, number, currency, date and time, lookup. Okay, hyperlink. Lookup is also very important. That helps you in creating a join with other other document libraries or other tables. You can create, you can call any lookup column here. So these are all the fields that you can add as a custom fields as per your requirement. Moreover, I will further tell you about the detailed general settings in my next upcoming video. So guys, thank you very much for watching this video, and please subscribe my channel and continue watching more videos. I thank you all.